Good afternoon and welcome to this conferring celebration. Jeev Gulair. Is Misha Caroline Lochnan Rooney Ganohi Rialcus agus Acadúla gan Alscoil Seo agus is cú sáthas é dom fáilte cur riva ar an lá speisialta seo. Táimid an seo inneach an ceilearí poblí a dhéanamh ar an gasca Acadúla tá dhéanta a gibh I gceann mhór cuid cuasaí léinn le cúpla bliana nús. Lá mór I bhéalra na hoscoil atá an agus océid níos mó agus níos táhachtaí an seo in bhór saoil féin. Go mar sibh mhór géimeocht uair agus cuim gach rá a ribh sa saoil atá ribh amach, mar céimethe de Oscail na hÉireann Galway. I'm Caroline Lochnan, Secretary for Governance and Academic Affairs, and on behalf of the University of Galway, I want to extend to you all a very warm welcome to this ceremony. It is a special day for all of us in the university, and I want to start by introducing you to the various people who are central to today's event. To my left is the Deputy President and Registrar of University of Galway, Professor Peter McHugh, who presides over the ceremony. With him is Dr. Anne Ryan, who will open and close the formal part of the ceremony. Behind me is Professor Walter Gear, Dean of the College of Science and Engineering, Professor Anne-Marie Groark, Deputy Dean of the College of Arts, Social Sciences and Celtic Studies, and Professor Geraint Howes, Dean of the College of Business, Public Policy and Law. And they will present the graduates to the Deputy President. And we are also joined today by colleagues from the three colleges who have played their part in ensuring that you are able to graduate from this university. I will now hand over to the Students' Union President, Mr. Dean Kenny, who will make a commencement address, after which Dr. Ryan will open the formal proceedings in Latin.
Díomh gach duine a céimethe an cóide a teaghlaigh agus a cuairteoirí chun fáilte róidir an lá bras speisialta seo agus tom anmhaíoch as feadh an seo. Good afternoon, graduates, parents, guardians, family, friends, faculty and guests. Welcome to your graduation. Today is a day that I'm sure all of you have talked about and thought about over the last few years, and I'm sure at one point or another there was that thought that creeped in saying, I'll never make it. but you have. You're here, you're at your graduation, and congratulations. Over the course of today, you'll be dragged this way and that to get in this picture, that picture, to talk to that relative that wants to congratulate you. But no, for this period of time in this hall, it's all about you. You've all had great support from, I'm sure, friends and family and staff that are here throughout the years, but ultimately this is your achievement. There are many rounds of applause later on, but the one person you don't get to applaud for today is yourself. So in full American high school graduation spirit, I would invite you now to take this opportunity, graduates of 2023, to put your hands together and give yourself a well-deserved bullet bus. It is an immense privilege of mine to be given the opportunity to speak at these ceremonies. It's a privilege granted to me by definition that I was elected to my peers to this position last year, something I'm still absolutely baffled by. And I'd like to make an admission that there are people here who are graduating with PhDs and masters and things that I couldn't even attempt to pronounce. I graduated with the Bachelor of Arts last year, so I'm in no position. I'm, like many elected representatives, I'm wholly unqualified for making this address, but I'll attempt to make it anyways. We've all come on very different journeys, but on these occasions I'm brought back to my first lecture here at this university. It was in the ivy-draped education building, Block D, in a classroom full of people I'd never met before, from all corners of the country and all corners of the globe. We collectively had no idea what to do or what to expect, but all it took was one brave soul to throw down the phone in the middle of the table and say, put the numbers into that, we'll make a group chat. And I kind of knew I was going to be all right. Because at the beginning, that's all any of us are really concerned about, I think. At the very beginning, it's about finding your base, finding your community, just making some friends. For many people, it takes weeks and months. Some people, it takes days. Some people, it takes 20 minutes. For that reason alone, I think there's something really special about this place, about Galway. We've all had very different experiences and struggles throughout the years. We've also had many shared experiences, and I think we can all agree that Galway is a place where we can all find a home, no matter where we come from. Just like there's something special about this place, I believe there's something special about this group of individuals here today. I'm sure it's something that's expressed at graduation ceremonies all the time, that this group of individuals have endured hardships like no other. But I think it's kind of true in this instance. Many people here would have studied during the COVID-19 pandemic, when all teaching was made virtual almost overnight. You've endured those Zoom calls upon Zoom calls, the home haircuts, the pubs that were closing at 8 o'clock at one stage, people becoming experts in baking banana bread, and the worst of all, lecturers trying and failing to figure out how to simply unmute a microphone, how to share a screen. We've really been through it. We've gone through a name change, though I imagine many people will find it difficult to refrain from calling this place NUIG. And on a more sad, poignant note, in all that time, we've still yet to see Mayo win an All-Ireland final. But that's another story. We've had good times, we've had the bad times, the great times, of course those, oh Jesus, when's that due times. There's been the early mornings, the late nights, the 9 a.m. lectures, Harvard referencing and placement, often unpaid. In the fashion of someone who was kind of asked to speak at a graduation ceremony and wasn't quite sure what to say, I'm now going to take an opportunity to recite a piece of poetry. It's a poem called Desiderata by Max Ehrmann. I think it's quite a meaningful poem on a day like today. So it goes like, go placidly amid the noise and the haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even to the dull and the ignorant. They too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexatious to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain or bitter, for always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Be yourself, especially do not feign affection. Neither be cynical about love, for in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe no less than the trees and the stars, and you have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore be at peace with God, whatever you conceive him to be, And whatever your labours and aspirations, in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace in your soul. With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful and strive to be happy. I think it's a nice message on a day like today. I'm sure that many of you will go on and enjoy very successful careers within your chosen fields, and you'll achieve things outside of those careers also. Albert Einstein once said that education is what remains when one has forgotten all that they've learned in school. The degree or the qualification you receive today is, I'm sure you'll agree, it represents much, much more than simply a letter grade or a number or a qualification. It represents a journey that you've embarked on since your first day here in University of Galway or whichever university it was, whether it was in first year as a naive teenager, as many of us come in, or as a master's student, or whatever route you took to where you are right here today in this packed Bailey Allen Hall. Today is a day of reflection. I'd ask you to think back of how far you've come from that first lecture in Galway to the person you are here today, surrounded by your loved ones and friends and family about to graduate from this university. I know that Galway will always hold a very special place in all of our hearts, regardless of what extraordinary things you go on to achieve. There's a quote by Edmund Burke, and it said, you might be familiar with it, it said, all that it requires for evil to prevail is for good people to do nothing. We are very privileged to say we received an education. There's many people in the world that don't get the opportunities many of us have had. So we are in a very esteemed position that we can go out and do good and do something. So I'd encourage you to, this is again coming from a Bachelor of Arts student who ran for an election. I have no right to be telling you what to do, but please make the most of it. You know, join a union, join an organisation, get involved in your local community, because evil will prevail if good people do nothing. Anyways, that's my soapbox over. To the parents and guardians and the families here today, you should be incredibly proud of the person you're here with. They've contributed much, much more to this university than simply assignments and Turnitin and submissions. They have made a lasting impression that will not be quickly forgotten. To the graduates, graduands, enjoy the day, enjoy your future. Try not to fall coming up those steps. They're a bit steeper than you think. Have a nice evening. Wherever life leads you, hold your head high, stand proud, and never lose the resilience that you've gained through your time in this university. Thank you very much. Go mí mé maith go léir agus an éireann tála.
Now move to the official part of the ceremony. Pre honorabiles preces, totaque universitas, haec comitia universitaria, hudi convocatia sunt, ut quidem homines ad graticus and miticanus admitantor. Eos esasque presentabit Professor Anne-Marie Groark.
Good afternoon. Just before we start the very important proceedings of calling out the names, could I just ask for the PhD graduates, when I call out the name, if you'll just come up the steps, and as Dean said, try not to fall, they are steep, and if you stand beside the Deputy President, because that will give me the opportunity then to read out the text about your topic, because it's most important, and it's then that people can give a collective clap for the graduate, and then they obviously exit down this side. So it just makes things clear to everybody, if that's okay. Okay, so the College of Arts, Social Sciences and Celtic Studies. Doctor of Philosophy, PhD Arts. Presento vobis hasce meas filias filiasque meas quas omne scio tam moribus quam doctrina habiles et idoneus esse qui admittanter ad gradum doctoratus philosophiae idque tibi fide mea testor expondeo totique academiae.
Ergo, authoritate mihi concessa, admitto vos ad gradum doctoratus philosophiae.
Sum adebeo. Suan Adebayo is awarded a PhD in Education for research supervised by Dr. Manuela Hines on developing culturally responsive pedagogies and intercultural education in Irish secondary schools. Emily Allen. Okay. Emily Allen is awarded a PhD in English for research supervised by Professor Marie-Louise Coulihan on the context and contents of women's petitions in Ireland from 1541 to 1583. Sarah Carter. Sarah Carter is awarded a PhD in philosophy for research supervised by Dr. Heike Smith-Felsman and Professor Matthew de Guin on conceptualizing and designing for value-centered data privacy decisions. Mary Conlon Nichol. Mary Conlon Nichol is awarded a PhD in education for research supervised by Professor Jerry McGrourk on exploring the understandings, uses and efficacy of professional learning for school leaders. Emma Corley is awarded a PhD in psychology for research supervised by Professor Gary Donoghue and Professor Derek Morris on the role of immune response in mediating the effects of childhood trauma on cognition. Jeremy Sear-Cook. Jeremy Sear-Cook is awarded a PhD in Drama and Theatre for research supervised by Dr. Charlotte McIver on the relationships between linguistics, physics and the body's communicative abilities in contemporary performance and adaptation. Eamon Doggett. Eamon Doggett is awarded a PhD in English for research supervised by Professor Sean Ryder and Mr. Mike McCormick on prose stylistics reflected in an original short story collection and analysis of Dermot Healy's fiction. Caroline Dignan. Caroline Dignan is awarded a PhD in sociology for research supervised by Professor John Canavan and Professor Caroline McGregor on an exploration of power within children and young people's services committees in Ireland. Anna Faulkner. Anna Faulkner is awarded a PhD in Irish Studies for research supervised by Dr. Maeve Newrathon on Irish traditional and folk music in Galway, 1961 to 1981, and their importance for subsequent cultural developments. David Healy. David Healy is awarded a PhD in psychology for research supervised by Professor Jane Walsh and Professor Owen Conlon on immersive virtual reality to support retired adults to reduce sedentary activity. Margaret Houlihan. Margaret Houlihan is awarded a PhD in history for research supervised by Dr. Katrina Clear on Cumann na mBan in Clare, highlighting the women's backgrounds and variety of revolutionary activities. Margaret Houlihan. That's my fault. Martina Heinen. Martina Heinen is awarded a PhD in Irish Studies for research supervised by Dr. Nessa Cronin on birthplace as an ecological event and proposes that birthplace be reframed within the more than human world. Tara Kelly. Tara Kelly is awarded a PhD in Sociology for research supervised by Dr. Declan Coogan on parents' experiences of child-to-parent violence and abuse and non-violent resistance intervention for this type of family violence. Thomas Lally. Thomas Lally is awarded a PhD in English for research supervised by Professor Felix O'Murcotha and Mr. Mike McCormick on the relation of life and narrative, language and expressivity articulated in literary and philosophical terms. Maria Correa Marzola. Maria Correa Marzola is awarded a PhD in Classics for research supervised by Dr. Jacopo Bisagni on the conceptualization of music and musical instruments in the early medieval Irish Church. Oliver Milne. Oliver Milne is awarded a PhD in philosophy for research supervised by Dr. Nick Tosh on difficulties facing computationalist theories of phenomenal consciousness. Jacob Neufeld. Jacob Neufeld is awarded a PhD in psychology for research supervised by Dr. Ian Stewart on relational frame theory approach to assessing and teaching time understanding in young children. Lenita Ruggie is awarded a PhD in Women's Studies for research supervised by Dr. Nata Duvery on feminist understanding of governance structures required to realise EDI agenda in higher education. Fionnuala Simpson. Fionnuala Simpson is awarded a PhD in English for research supervised by Dr. Dermot Burns and Dr. Cleena Carney on analysing literary texts about mental illness through the lens of bibliotherapy. Aswathi Surendran. Aswathi Surendran is awarded a PhD in psychology for research supervised by Dr. Dennis O'Hora, Dr. Una Mead, Dr. Jenny McSherry and Dr. David Meredith on a behaviour change intervention to increase machine-related safety on farms. Honours Bachelor of Arts. Presento vobis hanc meam filiam filiumque meam, quos omnes sciotam moribus quam doctrina habilis et idoneas esse qui admittanter at gradum baccalaureatorius in artibus honora cursa confecto, idque tibi fide mea tester ac spondeo totique academiae.
Ergo, authoritate mihi concessa, admitto vos ad gradum baccalaureatus in artibus honora cursu confecto.
Oisin Cohen. Louise Angela Moriarty. Master of Literature. Presento vobis hunc meum filium, quam scio tam moribus, quam doctrina habilem, et idoneum esse qui admittanter at gradum magisteri in litteris, idque tibi fide mea testor expondeo todique academiae.
Ego authoritate mihi concessa, admitto te ad gradum magisteri in litteris.
Marcus Byrne. Master of Arts, Journalism. Presento vobis hasce meos filios filiamque meam, quos omnes scio tam moribus quam doctrina habiles et idoneus esse qui admittanter ad gradum magisteri in artibus, idque tibi fide mea testor expondeo todique academiae.
Ego authoritate mihi concessa, admitto vos gradum magisteri in artibus.
Ellie Mae Tremuan. Master of Arts, Social Work, Jonathan Shore. Master of Arts, Sports Journalism and Communication, Donal Ryan. Acadh na Halscoilíochta Gaeilge, Master Snowdona, Lan an Astrachan, Fergus McLaughlin. Diploma Irkema a Trangracht Codala. Presento vobis hunc meum filium, quam scio tam moribus, quam doctrina habilem, et idoneum esse qui admittanter at diploma superius in artibus, idque tibi fide mea testor expondeo totique academiae.
Ego authoritate mihi concessa, admitto te ad diploma superius in artibus.
Declan Webb. And can I now introduce Professor Garrett Howells from the Dean of Business, Public Policy and Law.
College of Business, Public Policy and Law, Doctor of Philosophy, PhD. Presento vobis hasce meas filias filiumque meum quos omnes scio tam moribus quam doctrina habilis et idoneus esse qui admittanter ad gradum doctoratus philosophia, idque tibi fide mea testor expondeo totique academia.
Ego authoritate mihi concessa, admitted vos ad gradum doctoratus philosophiae.
Lucy Bow. Lucy Bow is awarded a PhD in Accountancy and Finance for research supervised by Professor Emma Mulligan and Dr. Emma Curtis on a collaborative approach to tax administration, the case of cooperative compliance in Ireland. Maria Manuela de Almeida Silva. Maria Manuela de Almeida Silva is awarded a PhD in Law for research supervised by Dr. Conor William Hanley on the provision of interpreters in the District Court for Foreigners charged with a criminal offence. Maël Noir. Maël Noir is awarded a PhD in Human Rights for research supervised by Dr. Ekaterina Yayawi on feminist lawyering to address gender-based violence against women refugees in Uganda. Poonam Shoka. Poonam Shoka is awarded a PhD in Human Rights for research supervised by Professor Shane Darcy and Professor Anna Arstein-Kerslake on austerity as retrogression, rights to adequate housing and social security in the UK and Ireland. Judith Velena Rodo. Judith Velena Rodo is awarded a PhD in Human Rights for research supervised by Professor Siobhan Mullally on migrant women, coercive control, intimate partner violence in Ireland and Spain, rights and remedies. Anil Yadav. Anil Yadav is awarded a PhD in Economics for research supervised by Professor John McHale and Professor Stephen O'Neill on an event study analysis of the effects of star scientist recruitment. Master of Laws degree, International Comparative Stability Law and Policy. Presento vobis hunc meum filium, quem sio tam moribus, quam doctrina habilem, et idoneum esse qui admittantur a gradum magisteri in utroque jure tam civile quam canonica, itque tibi fede mea testo expondeo totice academia.
Ego autoritate mihi concessa, admitted te ad gradum magisteriae in utroque jure tam civili quam canonico.
Jared O'Brien. Master of Science in Business Hospitality. Presento vobis hunc meum filium quem sio tam moribus quam doctrina habidem et idoneum esse qui admittatur ad gradum magisteri scientia itque tibi fide mea testo expondio totice academia.
Ego autoritate mihi concessa, admitted te ad gradum magisteriae scientiae.
Sandeep Borana. I now introduce my colleague, Professor Walter Gear, Dean of Science and Engineering.
Doctor of Philosophy, PhD in Science. Presenter vobis hasque meas filias filiosque meos, quos omnes sia tam moribus, quam doctrina abiles et idoneos esse qui admittantur ad gradum doctoratus philosophiae, eque tibi fide mea testor expondeo totique academiae.
Ego autoritate mihi concessa, admitto vos ad gradum doctoratus philosophiae.
Ali Reitzer Abai Ardabili. Ali Retzer Abai Ardabili is awarded a PhD in biomedical engineering for research supervised by Dr. William Ronan and Dr. Ted Vaughan on micromechanical modelling of poly-1-lactide degradation in bioresorbable polymeric stents. Jair Andrade Ortiz. Jair Andrade Ortiz is awarded a PhD in computer science for research supervised by Professor James Duggan on advances in the estimation of quantities that characterize infectious diseases using statistical simulation methods. Shubhasit Basak. Shubhasit Basak is awarded a PhD in Information Technology for research supervised by Dr. Michael Shukat and Professor Rachel McDonnell on advanced facial generation techniques and their applications. Hamza Benchakrum. Hamza Ben Chakram is awarded a PhD in Electrical and Electronic Engineering for research supervised by Professor Martin O'Halloran on irreversible electroporation as a novel treatment for atrial fibrillation. Clarabelle Buinano. Clarabelle Buinano is awarded a PhD in microbiology for research supervised by Professor Vincent O'Flaherty on the microbiological treatment of saline wastewater and their valorization into biogas fuel. Flavia Corona. Flavia Corona is awarded a PhD in biomedical engineering for research supervised by Dr. William Ronan and Dr. Emma Dolan on textile-based biodegradable polymeric scaffolds for tissue engineering applications. Fabiana Coelho. Fabiana Coelho is awarded a PhD in microbiology for research supervised by Professor Vincent O'Flaherty on anaerobic digestion for recovery of biogas and platform chemicals from grassland biomass. Sean Connolly. Sean Connolly is awarded a PhD in microbiology for research supervised by Professor Vincent O'Flaherty on the mitigation of methane and ammonia emissions from agricultural manures and slurries. Ashish Dara. Ashish Dara is awarded a PhD in chemistry for research supervised by Professor Paul Murphy on synthesis of new galectin ligands, providing a basis for new glycomimetic drugs. Bangdu. Bangdu is awarded a PhD in civil engineering for research supervised by Dr. Guangjui Wu on deciphered mechanisms responsible for anaerobic ethanol oxidation for better renewable energy recovery from wastewater. Mohammed El Amri. Mohammed El Amri is awarded a PhD in biochemistry for research supervised by Dr. Gerhard Schlosser and Professor Abhi Shashikant Pandit on the role of Marx and Marx SL proteins on spinal cord development and regeneration in Xenopus. Sarah Ennis. Sarah Ennis is awarded a PhD in mathematics for research supervised by Dr. Ava Erzabet Zagezdi and Dr. Pili Abrin on the molecular level understanding of how the bone marrow supports leukemia cell growth and drug resistance. Liam Fitzgerald. Liam Fitzgerald is awarded a PhD in chemistry for research supervised by Professor Paul Murphy and Dr. Miriam O'Doul on studies of synthesis of deuterated indoles and sialic acid derivatives for prevention of influenza infection. Shane Gilroy. Shane Gilroy is awarded a PhD in electrical electronic engineering for research supervised by Professor Martin Glavin and Professor Edward Jones on detection and characterization of partially occluded vulnerable road users. Nico Ishchuk. Nico Ishchuk is awarded a PhD in electrical and electronic engineering for research supervised by Professor Martin O'Halloran on developing a probe to better characterize tissues advancing cardiac ablation treatments for atrial fibrillation. Catherine Jordan. Catherine Jordan is awarded a PhD in Earth and Ocean Sciences for research supervised by Professor Peter Croot on remote sensing of harmful algal blooms in Irish coastal waters. Jeffkin Kafuna. Jeff King Kafuna is awarded a PhD in informatics for research supervised by Professor John Breslin and Dr. Ali Intizar on uncertainty-aware fault diagnosis for safety-related industrial systems. Afrouz Kazemi Vanari. Afrouz Kazemi Vanari is awarded a PhD in civil engineering for research supervised by Professor Jamie Goggins and Dr. Edward Fagan on fatigue lifetime assessment of glass fibre reinforced composite wind and tidal turbine blades. Mohammed Jalid Khan. Mohammed Jalid Khan is awarded a PhD in computer sciences for research supervised by Professor Edward Curry and Professor John Breslin on enhancing visual reasoning in artificial intelligence using a neurosymbolic approach combining common sense knowledge and deep learning. Lydia King. Lydia King is awarded a PhD in bioinformatics for research supervised by Dr. Emma Holian and Dr. Roisin Dwyer on the role of genomic data in stratifying breast cancer patients within predictive survival models. Yuchen Liu. Yuchen Liu is awarded a PhD in microbiology for research supervised by Professor Vincent O'Flaherty on sustainable anaerobic biological treatment of dairy processing wastewater with bioenergy production. Keith Lyons. Keith Lyons is awarded a PhD in zoology for research supervised by Dr. Kevin Healy and Dr. Michael Dugan on the macroecology of spider venom. Francesca Macaluso. Francesca Macaluso is awarded a PhD in biochemistry for research supervised by Professor Kevin Sullivan and Dr. Andrea Ciliberto on how cells evolve to evade anti-cancer drugs. Sveta Malik. Sveta Malik is awarded a PhD in electrical and electronic engineering for research supervised by Professor John Breslin, Dr. Maeve Duffy and Dr. Subhasis Thakur on peer-to-peer energy trading algorithms using game theory. Deborah Malone. Deborah Malone is awarded a PhD in physics for research supervised by Dr. Nicholas Devani and Dr. Alexandra Goncharov on spatial light modulators to investigate adaptive optics performance for the extremely large telescope. Ana Marquez Mendez. Ana Marquez Mendez is awarded a PhD in Earth and Ocean Science for research supervised by Dr. Liam Morrison on sources, contamination and implications associated with the presence of microplastics in the marine environment. Gronya McAndrew. Gronya McAndrew is awarded a PhD in microbiology for research supervised by Dr. Kate Reddington on developing innovative diagnostics to detect the most prominent causes of bacterial healthcare-associated infections. Stephen McLaughlin. Stephen McLaughlin is awarded a PhD in microbiology for research supervised by Professor Charles Spillane and Dr. Sinead Waters on understanding the rumen microbiome for enhancing feed efficiency and reducing methane emission from sheep. Jenna Monaghan. Jenna Monaghan is awarded a PhD in biomedical engineering for research supervised by Dr. Ted Vaughan on an investigation of bone fragility in type 2 diabetes in a Zucker diabetic fatty rat model. Elliot Murphy. Elliot Murphy is awarded a PhD in chemistry for research supervised by Professor Olivier Thomas on the study of metabolites produced by two Irish dinoflagellates. Shane O'Connell. Shane O'Connell is awarded a PhD in bioinformatics for research supervised by Dr. Philip O'Brien and Professor Dara Cannon on the genetics of deep learning-derived neuroimaging phenotypes for brain disorders. Kevin O'Dwyer. Kevin O'Dwyer is awarded a PhD in civil engineering for research supervised by Dr. Brian McCabe on the effect of stoppages on skin friction in pipe jacking. Brian O'Sullivan. Brian O'Sullivan is awarded a PhD in bioinformatics for research supervised by Professor Carl Scheuger on the development of computational tools for cancer genomics. Emily Riley. Emily Riley is awarded a PhD in zoology for research supervised by Dr. Colin Lawton on the assessment of translocation outcomes and behavioural dynamics in 2 red squirrel populations. Rajeep Sarkar. Rajeep Sarkar is awarded a PhD in computer science for research supervised by Dr. John McRae and Dr. Mihal Arkan on exploring structured and unstructured knowledge sources for developing domain-specific chatbots. Mohammed Ashkar bin Saeed. Mohammed Ashkar bin Saeed is awarded a PhD in civil engineering for research supervised by Dr. Stephen Nash on numerical modelling of jellyfish transport and swimming behaviours in Killary Harbour, Ireland. Ayesha Sharif. Ayesha Sharif is awarded a PhD in physics for research supervised by Professor Gerard O'Connor on enabling enhanced electrical conductivities of thin film materials at low temperature by ultra-short laser technology. Ruth Tarpey. Ruth Tarpey is awarded a PhD in biomedical engineering for research supervised by Dr. William Ronan on analysis of the fracture and adhesion of biomimetic adhesive systems for medical device applications. Karolina Wojciak. Karolina Wojciak is awarded a PhD in chemistry for research supervised by Professor Paul Murphy and Dr. Joseph Byrne on making luminescent complexes capable of detecting sugar-binding proteins of bacterial origin. Mohammed Yahya. Mohammed Yahya is awarded a PhD in informatics for research supervised by Professor John Breslin on building semantic models and knowledge graphs for intelligent smart manufacturing applications. Hao Feng Yu. Hao Feng Yu is awarded a PhD in civil engineering for research supervised by Professor Michael Hartner and Dr. Stephen Nash on the development of complex models to determine bridge hydraulics and enable bridge risk assessment. Honours Bachelor of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering. Presenter vobis hanc meum filiam quam siotam moribus quam doctrina abelem et idoneum esse qui admittantur ad gradum baccalaureatus in arte ingenieria honoro cursu confecto eque tibi fide mea testor expondeo totique academiae.
Ego authoritate mihi concessa admitted te ad gradum baccalaureatus in arte ingenieria honoro cursu.
Onya Casey. Bachelor of Technology. Presento vobis hunc meum filiam quem siotam moribus quam doctrina abelem et idoneum esse qui admittantur ad gradum baccalaureatus technologiae eque tibi fide mea testor expendeo totique academiae.
Ego authoritate mihi concessa admitted te ad gradum baccalaureatus technologicae.
Dara McDonough. Bachelor of Science. Presenter vobis hosce meas filiamque meam quos omnes eo tam moribus, quam doctrina habiles et idonios esse qui admittantur ad gradum baccalaureatus in scientiae, ique tibi fide mea testor expondeo totique academiae.
Ego authoritati mihi concessa admitto vos ad gradum baccalaureatus in scientiae.
Ian Francis Higgins. Siobhan O'Dea. Miriam Fayintolua Alamejuan. Stuart Saliu. Bachelor of Science in Biomedical Science, Kate O'Brien. Bachelor of Science in Biotechnology, Siobhan Onya Lee. Bachelor of Science in Health and Safety Systems, Pierce Barry. Master of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering, Presenter vobis meum filium quem seo tam moribus, quam doctrina habeam et idonium esse qui admittantur ad gradum magisteriae in arte ingeniaria, ique tibi fide mea testor expondeo totique academiae.
Ego authoritati mihi concessa admittud te ad gradum magisteriae in arte ingeniaria.
Lee Walsh. Master of Engineering Science by Research. Presenter vobis hosce meos filios quos omne sia tam moribus, quam doctrina habiles et idonios esse qui admittantur ad gradum magisteriae in scientiae ingeniaria, ique tibi fide mea testor expondeo totique academiae.
Ego authoritati mihi concessa admittu vos ad gradum magisteriae in scientiae ingeniaria.
Ty Cummings. Samuel Dignan. Master of Science, Sean Vivian Clark. Brandon Collier. Aileen Kelly. Jesus Lopez. Ben McKeon. Master in Agri-Biosciences, Irene Waters. Master of Science in Chemistry, Trish Holland. Jakub Kruk. Master of Science in Climate Change, Agriculture and Food Security, Kira Brennan. Master of Science in Ocean, Atmosphere and Climate, Adelaide Wink. Postgraduate Diploma in Biomedical Science. Presenter vobis hanc meam filiam quam seo tam moribus quam doctrina habeam et idonium esse qui admittantur ad gradum diploma post baccalaureatum in scientiae biomedicae, ique tibi fide mea testor expondeo totique academiae.
Ego authoritati mihi concessa admitto te ad gradum diploma post baccalaureatum in scientiae biomedicali.
Carol Ann Kennedy. Thank you very much. Congratulations, everyone.
Pre honorables praeses, ceremonius rad confectus, vinum queso facias huidigis, convocatonius universitariae.
Congratulations, graduates. We are drawing to a close on the formal ceremony today, and the Deputy President will shortly make his address before you go out for light refreshments in the Aula Maxima and the Human Biology Building, which is located to the right as you exit this building. Before that, I would ask you to join me in thanking those people whose hard work and professionalism ensure that a ceremony such as this runs smoothly, and in particular, Brona Clifford and the Conferring team, as well as Tara Layden and Academic Registry. In addition, let me thank staff from Buildings and Estates, the President's Office, administrative staff from college and school offices, audiovisual staff from the Centre for Excellence in Learning and Teaching, the Marketing and Communications Office, and An Terafish Astracon. And to you, the graduates, I would just like to say, go now and make the most of the qualification you've gained and the life ahead of you. Banagi Sult Niawan as an law Tainyan, Ak as an Sail at River Makoma. I would now like to introduce the Deputy President of the University of Galway, Professor Peter McHugh, whose speech will conclude the ceremony.
Fáilte rómh go léir chuig an ócáid iontóg seach in Ollscoil na Gaillimhe. Is mise Peter McHugh, Uachtarán Onad agus Miarani na Hallscoile. My name is Peter McHugh and I'm the Deputy President and Registrar of the University. And I have recently taken on this role, and as such it's a great honour and pleasure for me to be here today to address you. The first thing to say is welcome to you all, our newly minted graduates and your families and friends. This is a great day. It's a great day of celebration in the life of the university, where we celebrate and formally acknowledge the hard work and achievements of you, our graduates, in earning your qualifications. This is something to be extremely proud of, and I can assure you that we are all extremely proud of you. The second thing to say is thank you, our new graduates. You are the reason we're here at all. The reason that this great institution exists in the first place. Thank you for coming here as our students and for being the most important part of our University of Galway community over the last number of years while here. Of course, we congratulate you on selecting the University of Galway in the first place. A very smart move and one of the best decisions you ever made and will ever make. Today, you have become part of a large and ever-growing family of University of Galway graduates. The University of Galway alumni, some 130,000 of you, and growing. The university is currently generating its new 5-year strategic plan for 25 to 30. The plan builds on the current strategic plan that was based around 4 values of excellence, respect, openness, and sustainability. As part of the new strategic plan development, the word, in consultation with staff and students coming forward, is the word belonging as an important concept. And this word belonging, to me, is a powerful word that describes our university community, students and staff. We're all part of something. We all belong here. We help each other and look out for one another. And we have a strong sense of identity with and pride in this university. So you, as our former students, and I know some of you may have been graduates already, a lot of you are PhD graduates today, you now all belong to the University of Galway community, and you will remain so throughout your lives, and that is something to cherish and to be extremely, extremely proud of. I'm sure that there are family and friends here today celebrating with you who are themselves University of Galway graduates. We welcome you back to reconnect with the community and our beautiful campus. And of course, not forgetting those families and friends who may be here from the first time, including so many from overseas, and this is wonderful to see. And we extend that same warm welcome to you all as you visit our campus. And at this point, to acknowledge the huge contribution they, your families and friends, have made to you graduates, I want to ask you, our new graduates, to give a warm round of applause to your family and friends. And focusing back on the university itself for a moment, you should also be proud of it for its great achievements, for which, of course, you have been a critically important part. In the international university rankings, we are in the top 2% in the world out of approximately 26,000 universities, and we saw an increase in our rankings this year. We are the number 1 university in Ireland, the top 5 in Europe, and in the top 50 globally for sustainable development and our impact in achieving the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. These are remarkable achievements and demonstrate huge ambition, and I want to thank all staff and students for their outstanding efforts in making all of this happen. We are a research-led university. Of course we are. Look at the sea of red today in front of us. Fantastic achievements across the board. Research excellence is a key part of our identity and distinctiveness at the university. It is at the beating heart of what we do. It's true across all disciplines at the university, and in particular across the 3 colleges that we have represented here this afternoon, as illustrated by the fantastic doctoral thesis topics we heard described earlier. Our College of Art, Social Science and Celtic Studies has recently spearheaded a new research strategy that includes the establishment of an Institute for Creativity, building on the university's long and outstanding heritage in the creative arts. Ochadov na Holsciolachta na Gaeilge has worked with our colleagues in the library to collate and make publicly available the Imerca database of letters, memoirs and correspondence for some of the millions of people who have fled our shores for a better life in North America. For the College of Business, Public Policy and Law, the Institute for Life, Course and Society performs innovative applied research informing policy development and practice that makes a positive difference to people's lives. The college also has thought leaders in the world of human rights who routinely and progressively urge action to end international conflict. And last but not least, our College of Science and Engineering is in the process of launching a new multidisciplinary institute for health discovery and innovation, focused on tackling pressing health needs by advancing novel diagnostics and treatment methods, and builds on our world-class standing in biomedical engineering, biomedical science and medical technology, where Galway, the city of Galway itself, is a global hub of the medical device industry. The college also hosts the Ryan Institute, focused on the marine, energy and environment and agriculture, and the Construct Innovate Centre, which brings together researchers, industry and government with the vision to make Ireland a global leader for sustainable construction and building technology. These are just a few examples, only a few examples, of the very broad and deep spectrum of excellent research activity across our colleges. And again, your presence here today as PhD graduates across the 3 colleges is the perfect personification of that, so well done. But if we take a step back and reflect for a moment, we might ask the question, why are we here as a university? What's the purpose, ultimately, of us being here? And as our president has articulated so well many times, fundamentally we are here for the public good. This is the basis of all that we do. And you, as our graduates, are now at the forefront of delivering on that mission. So we ask you to use your education and skills enthusiastically, but wisely, and with kindness and compassion for the betterment of our society. Here you have received an education in the fundamentals and advanced immersion in your different disciplines, bringing it to the PhD level in many cases. And the sound and deep understanding of these fundamentals is critically important for your future success, but it's just the foundation. It's now up to you to build on this, to carve out your own futures and write your own stories. Maybe not another PhD thesis, but the story of your life, okay? As Seamus Heaney, when he was a teacher in Dublin, said, "We are here to develop your capabilities. Your destinies are your own." But you can go out into the world with strong positivity and confidence. The modern world is certainly a challenging place, but building on your great achievements today that we are here to celebrate, you can certainly go out into the world with strong positivity and confidence. As the Belfast writer C.S. Lewis said, there are far better things ahead than any we have left behind. And in a related thought, life is not linear. It's not a straight line. There are ups and downs. Opportunities come and go in life. And I wanted to leave you with one thought today as you complete this very important part of your education with us and face out into the world, and that is to grasp opportunities when they arise. No matter what stage you are in life, grasp opportunities when they arise, to take the chance when opportunities are presented. New job opportunity, study opportunity, travel opportunity, whatever. Some things may not work out, but when they do, the positive effects on your life can be wonderful. You'll never know until you try. William Shakespeare said this much more elegantly than I did in the play Julius Caesar, and I have one quote on that I think is useful. He says, "There is a tide in the affairs of people, which taken on the flood leads on to fortune. Omitted, all the voyage of their life is bound in shallows and in miseries. On such a full sea we are now afloat, and we must take the current when it serves, or lose our ventures." Looking at you today, you're now very much floating on a full sea, and the current is certainly with you, so take it and carve out your own destinies to build a better future for us all. Before I finish, I want to say a word of thanks to my colleagues in the university staff here in huge numbers today, which is fantastic to see. Academic staff, professional services, support staff across all functions for all the hard work that they have done, consistently and generously over the years to make our university successful and to get us to where we are today. Muila buehis Jeev Golair. Finally, to our new graduates, families and friends, again, heartiest congratulations. Enjoy this wonderful day. When we came in, I think the rain had held off, a bit of sunshine. So take the photos outside, go up to the quad. I know some of you were there already. Enjoy the day. Cohordius live Golair, agus tá súlagam go manfi sif tatnaf as an law íontach seo. Goramahagif Golair.